You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm so grateful you're here with me today to talk all about the moon entering Pisces. We have a nice calm day on tap. Nice little break from all of the commotion we've had going on in the planets towards the beginning of the week. And we have some more intense transits to talk about this weekend. So Thursday and Friday really act as a nice little break with the moon in Pisces to rest, to relax, to lean into our imagination before we deal with some more intense is the best way I can describe it. Intense energy to come. Good morning, Michael. Glad you got that dog walk in. Oh, before the snow started falling. Where are you living, Michael? Where is it snowing right now? I'm in Northern California in Sacramento, and we did get some rain this morning, but definitely no snow here. And good morning to you, Danny. Thank you for being with us, starting your day off with transits today. So how is everybody feeling after all the squares we had towards the beginning of the week? We had that square between Mercury and Neptune on Monday, sort of clouding our communication. We had a square between Jupiter and Mars playing out Tuesday, Wednesday, which definitely could have brought some aggression to the surface. Today, no major planetary connections to talk about, so that's nice. We only are talking about the moon today, getting ready for the weekend. Okay, Reno, yes, my old stomping grounds. That's where it's snowing. That's wonderful. Hopefully it's snowing up in the Sierra too. I'm assuming it is because we definitely need it with this drought we've been experiencing in California and across the West Coast. But I digress. Let's talk about the moon now. So, the moon in Aquarius over the past couple of days could have left us feeling a little bit emotionally detached, or I know some people over the past couple of days were saying they were really in their head because that Aquarius moon really rules ideas. It's kind of everything above the physical. Aquarius is the water bearer, so I like to think of it, that energy, like a cloud or electricity or something you can't actually see, but that definitely brings an energy with it. So the moon moved out of Aquarius this morning, but because it's such a calm day, I'm going to go through all of the little connections the moon is making. So actually at 2 o'clock in the morning, the moon squared off to Mars. And a lot of times I don't talk about transits that happen in the middle of the night because most of us are sleeping. But if for whatever reason you found you were up in the middle of the night or staying up super late, that could have been a result of the moon squaring off to Mars, forming this 90-degree angle with this really activating energy to this activating planet, Mars. So that could have made you feeling a little bit, made you feel a little bit restless, or even irritable or angry. And also take note of what kind of dreams you had last night. If you had any aggressive or intense dreams, that could have been a result of the moon squaring off to Mars. I know I had a dream that my dogs were rolling around in mud. So not really aggressive, but definitely Mars energy. Who knows if that's because of the moon or just my own little subconscious mind. But I'm curious if you guys were up late or had any really energetic disturbances or intense dreams last night. Good morning, Crystal. Thanks for being here. Yeah, the moon isn't in Aquarius anymore, though. So those of you like Julian who have an Aquarius moon just had your lunar return over the past couple days. If you have a Pisces moon, you will have your lunar return probably on Thursday or Friday, depending on what degree your moon is at in your chart. So get excited if you are a Pisces moon. Or just a Pisces in general. You'll feel a little more comfortable with the moon in Pisces over the next couple days. So that Aquarius moon made one last connection to Mars overnight at 2 a.m. before moving into Pisces at 7 o'clock this morning. So we have a fresh baby Pisces moon right now to look at. You can see it here, 0 degrees in Pisces. And this moon really isn't making too many connections at all today. You know, Pisces energy is this sleepy energy. It rules our dreams. It rules our subconscious. So we can feel a little bit sleepier in general with the moon in Pisces. We're invited to rest when the moon is in Pisces, and we can be a little bit more sensitive or empathetic because Pisces energy rules that as well. Our feelings can flow a little bit more freely. We can be more in tune with our emotion. We're also more connected with our imagination, our subconscious, our fantasy when the moon is in Pisces over the next couple days, and we're nurtured by a spiritual connection. Pisces rules the 12th house in astrology, that last house. You can kind of think of Pisces energy as that last step before crossing through the veil or crossing over to the other side or afterlife or whatever you believe in. Pisces is kind of like that final destination, if you will, before the beyond. So we're especially drawn towards the spiritual when the moon is in Pisces, and we're nurtured because the moon rules our inner emotions. We're ruled by we're nurtured, by spiritual practices. It can be a little bit easy to overlook details with the moon in Pisces because Pisces is opposite Virgo on the astrology wheel, and me being a Virgo, I'm very familiar with the energy of Virgo, very detail oriented, every T crossed, I dotted, very meticulous, particular. Pisces is the opposite of that. It's just like, whatever, go with the flow, just gonna go with how I feel, just gonna follow my intuition. Who needs research? It's all about gut feelings, right? That's Pisces energy, opposite Virgo for sure. So our intuition is definitely heightened. We can follow our intuition more easily over the next couple days, and we can let empathy rule. We can let our love rule with the moon in Pisces. So if you're feeling extra sentimental, just let it happen. Tell people you love them. Be that sensitive being that you are. Just be careful not to be overly sensitive with the moon in Pisces because sometimes it can feel like everybody's out to get me. Pisces can kind of be the martyr a little bit, so don't be the martyr. Own your energy still. Be in control, but allow yourself to be a little bit more loving. Be a little bit more sensitive and emotional with the moon in Pisces. And the moon in Pisces is only making one major connection today, and it's happening literally right now. So let's talk about it. You can see here, 0 degree moon. The only other spots on the chart at 0 degrees are the north and south node. I can't even call them planets because they're not planets. They're mathematical points in the sky, the north and south node of the moon. And the north and south node, for those of you who aren't familiar, are the two axes of the moon, or the two, like the north pole of the moon essentially and the south pole of the moon. And you can think of the moon, it's spinning, it's orbiting Earth. Nothing is perfectly symmetrical or cylindrical or spherical when it comes to the moon or the planets moving. So just like Earth, the moon is moving on an axis that isn't perfectly straight up and down, which means that the nodes shift every couple of years into new signs. And we've been talking a lot about this during eclipse season. The nodes are actually moving backwards right now from our vantage point here on Earth, and they are about to enter new signs of Taurus and Scorpio. So the nodes are currently at 0 degrees, Gemini and Sagittarius. What does this mean? Well, we've been feeling the energy of Gemini Sagittarius polarity over the past year and a half with this eclipse cycle that just closed out with last Friday's solar eclipse. So it's been a lot about learning, expansion, information over the past couple years, and once the nodes move into the Taurus-Scorpio axis, it'll be a lot more about energy, the earth, energy exchange, transformation, change, all of those things. That is kind of an aside on the nodes, but in our personal birth charts, the nodes represent our purpose. So the South Node represents the lessons we came into this life already knowing. So if you look at the South Node on your chart, that's kind of the energy that you're most comfortable in. For example, I'll just use myself as an example. My South Node is in Gemini, so I tend to vibe really well with Geminis. Like, I just feel right at home with them. Potentially because I'm a Virgo also, and we're ruled by Mercury, we chat a lot, but Gemini energy feels really comfortable for me, whereas the opposite, my North Node, is in Sagittarius, and that energy is not comfortable for me. That represents all the lessons I need to learn in this lifetime. So you can look to your North Node as kind of your purpose, your destiny, what you came onto Earth this time around to learn. Now, how does this affect us today? I know I'm going deep into the nodes right now. So the moon is forming a T-square to the nodes. And a T-square is an especially activating transit. It's the only major transit we're talking about today, and it packs a punch for sure. So what is a T-square? You can see it here. You see this triangle, this red triangle on the chart here. So the moon is forming a square to both the North Node and the South Node because they're directly opposite each other all the time. So this is a 90-degree angle to one at the same time as a 90-degree angle to the other. This is the most tense angle in astrology, and then the nodes, this opposition, is also, kind of an angle that packs a punch as well. So we're right smack dab in the middle on the chart of the North Node and the South Node being activated by both of them. And this could make us feel a little bit confused about our purpose, especially with a Pisces moon. Pisces can be confused or deceived more easily because it's ruled by the planet of illusions. So you might feel this morning a little bit confused about the direction you're heading in, the purpose you're here to achieve, or even feeling a little bit disillusioned about your past and all the hard lessons you've already had to learn in this lifetime, or all of the difficulties you've already walked through. Although the nodes aren't major planets, their influence is still really strong, especially on our own personal journeys. So the Pisces moon in the middle of both of them is like the focal point of this T-square. It puts the emphasis on our feelings about the past and the future, on our emotional state when it comes to our destiny and our past. It could feel like you're stuck in the middle of those things today, unsure about your purpose, or maybe you're a little bit confused about what the next step is, where you need to be going, especially after last week's solar eclipse. It could have shaken up some things, brought you some revelations, some downloads, some breakthroughs. You could have experienced a major life shift. And at this point in the week, it's been almost a week now since the solar eclipse. You might be feeling like, okay, so what do I do with this? Where do I go from here? Might be a little bit more indecisive or unsure than usual. So don't worry. This is a short transit. Once the moon makes its way a few more degrees into Pisces, we won't really be feeling this anymore. So that's the first thing. If you're feeling temporarily confused, it is just temporary. Remember that. But you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Pay attention to your intuition. Really try to follow your intuition rather than your rational mind, because our rational mind wants us to feel like we have a plan for everything. We know what the next steps are. We know our purpose. We can easily explain it to people, whereas our intuitive body, our emotional state is much more, okay, how does this feel? Do I want to keep moving forward? Do I need to go in a different direction? So really pay attention to how you're feeling, to your emotional state. I think it is safe to follow your intuition today. There aren't any conflicting aspects or anything that make it impulsive or anything to follow your intuition. So if your intuition is telling you something really strongly, you're hearing it very strongly, definitely listen today. But if you are feeling more confused and like, okay, where's my intuition? Why isn't it telling me what to do? Just take this time to rest and reflect. The Pisces moon is really a nice time to just bunker down, close your eyes. Meditation would be a wonderful practice while the moon is in Pisces. And if you are feeling confused, this could be a good time to invite those intuitive downloads, to connect to your own spirituality, to connect to God. If you have, a prayer or a practice that you normally do to make you feel more connected to spirit or God, this could be a time to invite in those realizations or those downloads about what is next for you. So if you are feeling confused, lean into spirituality, because Pisces energy really allows us to do that, following our intuition. Even with spiritual practices, sometimes we're like, was that a sign? I don't know. Am I hearing messages from my angels? I don't know. But when the moon is in Pisces, we're like, oh yeah, that was a sign. So pay attention to the signs, open yourself up to that communication or that belief, and allow whatever comes through to really sit with you, resonate with you, and that could clear up some of the confusion. There is a chance that this aspect could also bring a moment of healing. If you do have an intuitive download or something like that, this could be a moment where you are able to just reflect on the last chapter, heal, and get ready to move forward. Because after today, the moon does start to make more connections tomorrow, thank goodness. Well, or not. If you need a chance for rest, this is your chance. Today is your day, for sure. If you can take it, definitely rest today. But tomorrow, the moon is going to start to make more connections with, the sun, I think Mars, or maybe not Mars, but the sun, definitely, potentially Venus, potentially Pluto, potentially Mercury. We have all these planets at high degrees right now throughout the charts. So that's why the moon is pretty quiet tonight. But let's see. Yeah, as of tomorrow, the moon will connect with Neptune as well, which that'll be tomorrow night, and that could bring some wild dreams for Friday night. But the moon is still going to dominate the story tomorrow. We don't have any major aspects until Saturday, and then we have one after the other. Venus conjunct Pluto is happening on Saturday. Let me pull up and see what else is coming. And because we have these nice calm days ahead of us, tomorrow we'll talk all about what to expect over the weekend, because that's really going to be when things start to pick up the pace and when major transformation could happen, especially when it comes to love and money, because we have this conjunction between Venus and Pluto. So let's see what's happening tomorrow, give you a little preview, and of course we'll talk more in depth about this tomorrow. Then we'll do an overview, and then we will pull a card. So yeah, tomorrow is officially the first quarter moon as well. And so this first quarter moon is going to be supported by Uranus. It's going to square off to the sun, which could bring a little bit of conflict and form this conjunction to Neptune late Friday night. So we'll have more to talk about, but no major planetary connections, like I said, until Saturday and Sunday, when we have Venus conjunct Pluto, Mercury sextile Jupiter, and the sun square Neptune, all in the same day. So we'll break that down tomorrow, prepare you for all of those transits, what to expect over the weekend, what energy the weekend is going to bring. And the moon moves into Aries on Saturday. So really the Pisces moon is dominant for Thursday and Friday. And today's opportunity for rest really comes at a nice time with the moon in Pisces, because we're getting ready, we're heading towards the first quarter moon tomorrow. And the first quarter moon in the moon cycle is the time to start taking action. So you can think of that new moon, that solar eclipse, as this new beginning and a very powerful new opening to a chapter, with it being an eclipse. Then during the waxing crescent moon, as the moon starts to illuminate more, go towards that first quarter moon when the moon looks like it's half lit up, we're planning, we're preparing, we're getting ready for what's next. So we're kind of in this preparative stage right now. And sometimes the Pisces moon reminds us that the best way to prepare is to be still, to rest, to allow, to just reflect, lean into our imagination, connect to spirit as we've just been talking about. And so once the moon becomes the first quarter moon tomorrow, and especially once it moves into Aries and, you know, it's more in this active energy, we'll start to feel like taking action on whatever realizations we've had. But this is the time to rest before that happens. What does it mean when you say the moon is waxing? Great question, Michael. Okay, so the waxing moon is after the new moon, when the moon is becoming fuller. So we're seeing more and more light on the moon every night. And then the full moon, of course, is when the moon is fully illuminated. After the full moon is when we start to see a waning moon. So waning is when the light on the moon starts to get smaller and smaller. So waxing in general is this phase of getting ready for something, preparing for something, taking action on something. When the moon becomes full, it's like this culmination point, this celebration. And then when the moon is waning, it's a period of release, letting go, and getting ready for a new chapter. Hope that explained it for you. But yeah, we talk a lot about the waxing and the waning moon on these transits, so I'm glad you asked this question. My mom is a Virgo and I'm a Pisces, so familiar. Yeah, so you guys are probably opposites, but probably very similar in a lot of ways too. I'm a Virgo and I tend to attract Pisces, like especially Pisces women in my life, because it's like that opposites attract energy, right? I'm more analytical and thoughtful and detail-oriented, as we talked about, definitely a perfectionist. And all of the women I attract in my life who are Pisces are more free-flowing and sentimental and nurturing and take great care of me in my life. So that's a fun little dynamic that you have between you and your mom. Probably opposites, but probably very similar in a lot of ways too. And then Danny says, I'm a Gemini. All right. You know what's interesting is all these people talking about being Virgos, Geminis, and Pisces. This T-square with the moon that we've been talking about today is really going to activate those mutable signs a little bit more so. So mutable signs are Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. Because we have the nodes as well as the moon in mutable signs, those signs will be affected a little bit more so than everybody else. Okay, Michael, you're a Pisces. So this Pisces moon, you're probably feeling it a little bit more sentimental, but also kind of in your element. And Pisces is a water sign. So when the moon is in a water sign, all of our emotions are amplified a little bit more. And not necessarily amplified in the sense of being emotionally reactive or, you know, outbursts or anything like that. I mean, that could happen anytime, but more sensitive. The Pisces moon is sensitive and very sweet, restful, lovey-dovey, kind of dreamy. That's the energy we'll experience with the moon in Pisces. So let's do an overview of what's happening today, and then we will pull a card. So the moon moved into Pisces early this morning, inviting us to bunker down and rest for the next couple days. We don't have any major planetary connections happening Thursday and Friday, so the Pisces moon really rules the story, inviting us to connect to spirituality, to really listen to our intuition and be quiet. Allow any downloads to come through and prepare for whatever is to come this weekend when the planets really start to heat up and form multiple aspects this Saturday. So while the moon is in Pisces, give yourself some rest. Allow yourself to be where you are, especially today because the moon is forming a T-square to the north nodes. You might feel a little bit confused about your purpose or the direction you're heading in life. Take this moment to be still, listen to anything that comes through, listen to your emotions, and enjoy this period of quiet before the weekend starts to bring some more activation among the planets. All right, let's pull a card, everybody. Yeah, on Instagram, Emily says, feeling it. And we have rainy weather for the Pisces moon. It is so perfect right now. I know Michael and Reno is saying it's snowing up there. Really, Mother Nature is inviting us too to just be quiet, be still, relax a little bit, and enjoy. Just enjoy whatever feelings come up. Be sentimental. Allow yourself to go there. We're going to use the Moonology Oracle deck today because we're talking all about the moon. So I figured it was only perfect. Let me see if I can pull up the book that goes along with it. The last time I used this deck, it took me like a few minutes to find this, but today, pulled right up. All right, while I'm shuffling, if anybody else has any more questions about the Pisces moon or the energy to come, let me know. And as I mentioned, I will go into more detail about all the wild transits coming up this weekend tomorrow. We'll do a full preview of the weekend to come on Friday. That way you're prepared for it, especially if you have a lot going on this weekend. For some reason, I feel like we're at that point in December when it's like there's events nonstop, a lot going on. So this weekend could be kind of a wild one, like I said. But we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Let's figure out, what do we need to know today? Oh my goodness. Ugh, I freaking love oracle cards. Guess what card we got? A time for healing. What did I say? This is a perfect time for healing, or you could have a healing moment. This card almost looks like it could just blend right into my background too. This is so perfect. A time for healing. The Pisces moon does invite us to heal, and the best way to do that is by being still, is by resting. You can think of, when you have a physical injury, a lot of times the best thing you can do is just to be still and to rest. So if that solar eclipse in Sagittarius stirred up some deep emotions, or you've just been dealing with a lot this year in general, and as the year comes to a close, you're reflecting on everything you've been through, all the things you've learned, all of the hardships you've overcome, this is the time for you to rest and heal. Allow yourself that quiet time, that peace, so you can start to get ready for the next year and kind of come out of that space you've been in, right? A time for healing. So perfect. Just give yourself some rest, give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience. Allow yourself to slow down today. That will definitely be helpful, and welcome with the moon in Pisces. I don't know what this comment means, but I appreciate you commenting. VOH, FYI. Not sure, but I'm here for it. If anybody else has any other questions, this is your last chance to ask before we sign off for the day. Tomorrow will be all about the weekend. We'll continue talking about the connections the Pisces moon makes tomorrow, but today, a nice calm day to just rest, reflect, relax, allow, and just be. Be in your emotions, feel it all. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just be today. Just rest and relax. So grateful you joined me this morning for transits today. We also, later today, actually in about an hour, have the spiritual journalist streaming live, and today's interview is going to be really awesome. We're talking all about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I'm going to ask Natalie all about the metaverse, NFTs. So if you are curious about those things, or even just confused about those things, if you've been kind of having this itch to learn more about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, this is going to be a great show for you to tune into. Natalie Brunel is a former reporter, and she knows so much about cryptocurrency. She is like so deep into it, and the economy in general, and the benefits of putting your money into the blockchain and into this global thing. Clearly, I am excited for this conversation because I need some education about cryptocurrency. But it's going to be an awesome conversation. You can watch it right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at 10 a.m. or anytime on YouTube. It'll also be going out as a podcast tonight, so you can listen to it as well. Thanks for being here with me this morning. I'll see you right back here tomorrow to talk all about the weekend to come. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.